water's boiling for the eggs, so is the water for the beets. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the beets in, and then we're gonna go ahead and talk about the enchiladas. We're gonna get ready with our sauce. We're gonna use 3 tomatoes, 3 cloves of garlic, a dash of salt, and then we're gonna let it boil until the skin of the tomatoes starts to come off gently. We're gonna go ahead and cover this up. We're gonna move on to the picado. In Spanish, actually means just chopped, or finely chopped. Red bell pepper, 2 carrots, 1 onion, and 2 celery stalks. And because I don't really see anybody else cooking with it that much, is going to be our wiskil. Special ingredient of the day. It has a subtle taste, something like a potato, a little bit sweeter, I think. Before we peel this sucker right here, we're gonna turn off our eggs because I'm pretty sure those guys are done. They're gonna blow up. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat off, bring them to the side, let them cool down a little bit before we deshell them and start chopping them up. We're gonna go ahead and peel the wiskil. You ready? I'm ready. And it peels itself. Before you start peeling this, let me tell you something. You're gonna have to be very careful because the wiskil has this kind of sap on it. It feels a little soapy and slippery. Now that we're done peeling it, remove the core. I'll show you guys the inside of it. Look at that. So this is the preferred way of cutting the core out. We're gonna cut off some of this parts over here, which we won't need, which is some of the peel. Cut this in half, quarter this once again. You wanna make them a little thin. And I remember doing this with my grandma or my great aunt sometimes, and we would just sit there and just chop things up. It was like el castigo. That was our punishment. If we did something that day, you know what? You're gonna chop some vegetables, man. You won't get out of this one. Our tomatoes look done because the skin is falling right off. Removing the skin, there we go. Put the tomatoes in our food processor. We're gonna use some of the water so that your sauce is not too thick. We're gonna drop the garlic right in there. So we're gonna take our sauce, chicken bouillon, bay leaf, and we're gonna put it back on the stove. We're gonna give it a little mix. Let it heat up in here under low for the next 20 minutes. And after that, you're gonna have a great sauce. There we go. Cover it up. Boom. It's about time that we make our picado. And the picado, remember, is the chopped vegetables and our ground beef. So first we're gonna brown the ground beef. We're gonna go ahead and place our meat in there. Be careful. That's what you wanna hear. You don't really wanna add any seasoning yet. And the reason is because we're gonna set this to the side and you might lose some of the liquid, but that's all right. We're gonna season it after when we add all of our vegetables. Nice and fatty beef over here. What I always remembered from Guatemala was actually, I've never saw lean beef over there. I'm sure it existed, but where my grandma lived, I'm pretty sure they were only worried about whether it was really flavorful or not flavorful. The fat really brings some of that flavor in here, and that's the reason I did not get lean beef. Turn that heat off. We're gonna place it in our container. In the meantime, be very careful because it's quite warm. And we're gonna place it in here. You could actually just put all of that good stuff right in there. We're gonna set it to the side once again, put the heat back on, medium high, add just a little bit of more oil, and we're gonna saute our vegetables, with the exception of our wiskil. We just cooked the meat in here, and that's gonna really help out with our flavor, so. Expert tip, man. We have given these about 5 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and add our wiskil now. You could actually substitute potatoes for wiskilas. A little more of olive oil because I like the nice flavor that it gives it. All right, we're gonna add about a pinch salt to this, not too much. We're gonna add a couple cracks of pepper. So we've already drained the meat a little bit. We kept a little bit of the juices. We're gonna go ahead and drop this in here. We're gonna lower the heat to about medium low. We're gonna add about 4 bay leaves. Just drop them right in there. No rules, man. Some dry thyme. There's about 6 sprigs of dry thyme in here. Put them in there with the meat. Once you give this a good mix, you're gonna go ahead and introduce the beef bouillon. It's one of the ingredients that's definitely used heavily in Central America. We don't really use a lot of beef stocks or chicken stocks. We just use the beef bouillon. It adds a lot of flavor to your dishes, and that's the truth. Go ahead and just cover it. Let it sit here for the next about 20 minutes, and just make sure you come back and stir it in about 10 minutes. Make sure nothing's sticking, Make sure everything's nice and happy. Now it's time for the curtido part. The main part of it is the beets. So we want to actually make sure that we turn those off. What we're gonna need for the curtido itself, 1 onion, 2 carrots, the cabbage, about a cup of white vinegar, and our string beans, which we're gonna clean up right now. Line them up and just go ahead and remove the ends. Cut them into 4/4 like so. Very special ingredient over here. Cut it in half this way. All right, so we're gonna lay it on its side this way. Very kind of thin on the thin side. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and add about 2 pinches of salt to the water where we're gonna have our cabbage. Boom. That's gonna be sitting there for about 10 minutes. Once the 10 minutes are up, we're gonna come back and check it, and we're gonna start on our curtido. Check it out. Since we already finished our cabbage, we already made sure we shocked it. It still has a really nice crunch to it. I just tested it. We're gonna add vegetables, a couple cracks of fresh ground pepper, white vinegar, a couple pinches of salt, 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. Let's go ahead and mix that really well. What you could really compare this to is a sort of slaw, or like coleslaw, with a little bit of a bite to it, which is really, really nice. Let's continue with the beets. Before I get you guys there, you need to know that these will stain your hands and your clothes and your table and your utensils, basically everything. It's gonna look like you killed somebody. So just make sure you just wash your hands after, some nice cold water and some soap, and you'll be all set. To peel them, since we already boiled them, we're just gonna go ahead and squeeze them like so, and as you can see, the skin comes right off. There we go. But as I said before, your hands are gonna be a very beautiful color. I like to slice them like so. I like them a little longer, maybe about like this length, and this size is good. You could drop those right in there. No worries. I think I know where to go. And we're almost set. Now that we're finally done mixing this, put it in the fridge overnight so that it can pickle itself. Let it get that really beautiful color, all right? Vamonos. We're going to need 1 white onion for the garnish, and as thinly as you can, cut these into rings. We're gonna place them in the water for a little bit, let them rest. It'll make the flavor of the onion be less powerful. Start on our eggs now, which we're going to cut this way. I'm judging every single egg. Parsley, which is 1/2 cup. Try to bunch them up as close as you can. And then you just go ahead and mince this really, really well. The biggest flavor that you get from this dish is really the parsley. Once you sprinkle it on top, you put all your ingredients together, you know what you're eating. You're eating an enchilada. All set. Let's get started. Now that we have finally completed our quest of the enchilada from Guatemala, woo! This is what your curtido is gonna look like. It is gorgeous. We have our sauce, we have our hard-boiled eggs, white onions, and queso seco, straight from Guatemala. I'm not kidding, you could ask my mom or my grandma. She still sends me cheese. Love you, Grandma. And our chopped parsley. We're also going to need a couple leaves of lettuce. There it is. Make sure they're dry because you're gonna put them on your tostada. First step, get your tostada. It's basically a fried tortilla. Don't worry about it, just eat it. Second step, lettuce leaf. Third, our curtido, we're gonna place so carefully and lovingly on our plate. We put our meat on here, which we made already as well. Put some of our sauce in here. I'd say about a good, healthy tablespoon will do. Now the hard-boiled eggs, a couple of rings, there we go, and then some of our onion rings right here. Boom. All right, this is looking great already, man. Unbelievable. So now we're gonna get some more queso seco, sprinkle it on the top, like so. Any aged cheese really will do, dried cheese. Final step is the parsley, so we're gonna go ahead and just put it right in there. And I really like a lot of parsley, man. I think it tastes great with it. I think you're ready to dig in. Go ahead and try it. And just to warn you, it's a little bit messy. This is for the professional eaters. This takes me right back home, and you know what? I really hope that you guys enjoy it as much as I do. I'm gonna go enjoy this now.